Hello everyone, my name is Redeemer and today we'll be talking about shell expansions. So the first topic says what is shell expansion? So let's read. It says on the command line, each time a user types a command and presses the enter key, the shell by default performs various substitutions on the command before the command is executed. So let's see how it works. One, it says you type a shorthand symbol like the asterisk. Second, the shell expands it into the full text or path name, perhaps another command. And third, the shell runs the finished command. So the process by which this happens is called expansion. So basically with expansions, you type a command and it is expanded into something else. Example, a command, a path name, etc. This particular feature about the shell allows us to, for example, perform complex tasks on hundreds of files with just few keystrokes, saving time and reducing errors, as the subsequent demo will soon reveal. So let's look at the types of expansions we have. So the common types are 1. Path name expansions, which matches file names or patterns. The second is tilde expansions, which is a shorthand for your home directory. The third, we have the arithmetic expansion. So it says the shell allows arithmetic operations to be performed by expansion. Example, we have the plus, minus, multiplication, division, and other ones too as well. The fourth, we have the brace expansion. So I think this one is particular to the bash shell. So it says it generates sequences, lists, or text strings from a pattern containing braces. And we have the parameter expansions. So this particular feature refers to the shell feature to be able to store data, let's say a string, a command, and give it a name. And we have the command substitution, which uses the output of a command as an expansion, or it could use it as an input to another command. And lastly, we will try to see how to control expansions. So the shell allows the user to selectively control expansion with specific control mechanisms. Let's take a brief look at the various ways one can control expansions. So we could, control expansions, preferably we could control expansions due to our preferences. So we could use the escape character, single quotes, and double quotes, to limit the kind of expansions we would like the shell to perform on our command line. So with the escape character, it prevents the very next character from expanding. Example, so that one will print a literal $sign. The second, using single quotes. This prevents everything from expanding. That means to treat all the characters that have special meaning to the shell as literal characters. And we have the double quotes, which allows only parameter expansion and command substitution to be performed. Yes. So now we need to get into practical part and see how, we could put this to practical use. So since we'll be looking at expansions, basically we'll try all these examples, the various types of expansions with just one command, and that's the echo command. So what echo does is it prints its, standard input and displays it on the screen. So for example, you have here, yes. So with this, display or output, we could ask ourselves some various questions. So the first one is, why didn't echo print, so let's create, some test files to serve as a demo. So we could do touch file a z. So we have all these files in our current directory. So let's try and do some demonstration with the echo command once again. So we do echo So with this display, we could ask ourselves some questions. So the first question is, why didn't echo print the asterisk sign by itself? So the process by which this occurred is called expansions. So what echo did was, it actually waits for the asterisk to be expanded into the full path name, in this case, in the current working directory. So what echo saw was only this. Yes. So with this particular example, it serves to demonstrate the first type of expansion which we look at. That's I mean, the path name expansion with a dollar sign over there. And we have the tilde expansion. So let's take a look at how the tilde expansion works. So how the tilde expansion works is that it expands into the home directory of the effective user. So let's do that once again with the echo command. Alright. So when no name is attached to the tilde expansion, what echo does is it prints the home directory of the effective user. So we could place a user, against the tilde and see what happens. Yes, this one also prints the home directory of echo user. But in this case, I have only one user there, so no matter how, you try to write the command, it will surely print the home directory of user premier. And we have the arithmetic expansion, yes, which allows us to perform arithmetic operations on the command line. Yes. So all these examples will be performed using the echo command. But later we will try and see how to put all this to practical use so that it will not be just echo. You could actually replace echo with any command you like. So let's say, for example, you could try to use remove here and expand into all the current working directory and remove everything in this directory. Yes. When you run list again, everything is removed now. So you could actually substitute echo with any command you want. You could actually use find in case of anything. If you want to find a file, you could use cat, yes, or anything. So later we will see how to put all these expansions into practical use. We have the path name, we have the command substitution in all this basket. So let's see. We have the brace expansions. So with the brace expansions, it expands into sequences, lists, or text strings from a pattern containing braces. That means that the brace itself could contain a comma separated list of what? Strings or a range of characters, a range of letters or numbers. So let's see how to put this brace expansion. Let's see an example of the brace expansion. So we could do, so let's use touch here. So touch or make directory block. So we could use, so the brace we are saying it could contain a comma separated list of strings or okay. So with the brace expansions, so let's use make directory to see an example of the brace expansion. So the brace we are saying it could contain a comma separated list of strings or a range of integers or letters. So let's use a comma separated list of strings to see how the shell handles brace expansion. So we could do A, B, C, and do, let's say, room 1, 2, 3. So we have here now. So we have block A room 1. So we have block A room 2 and block A room 3. We have block B room 1, block B room 2, block B room 3. So these are some of the things that make the shell faster for some various tasks. Yes. So this is an example of base expansion. So when you get to the practical part, how to put all this into main use, like on a daily basis, how to actually put all this into practical use. We'll get to see them in a bash script here, which I have here. So we are just actually trying to demonstrate examples of all the types of expansions we have here. And we have the parameter expansion, and that we said this actually has to do with the shell's ability to store various data. It could be a string, it could be a command, and give it a name. So let's see how the shell handles parameter expansions too. So with the parameter expansions, we could actually store, let's say, a path name to a directory, and we could store a path name and give it a name. So let's try one. So let's do my path equals user. So you actually need to embed it in a double quote rather. So user bin. Yes. So in order to invoke parameter expansion on, let's say, what you call a variable, what you need to do is place a $sign in front of this my path that we've created here. So we are trying to replace all the example with echo command. We are trying to demonstrate all this example with just the echo command. But later we could substitute all this echo command with the commands we need in our when we get to use expansions, what commands we need, that's what you use. So let's see how to invoke parameter expansions on this my path that we created. So what we need to do is place a $sign in front of my path. So we could place my path in a double quote, or we could leave it just like that and see what the shell does. Yes, but keep in mind that what you are trying to demonstrate is expansion. So with expansions, you type something and it's expanded into something else before echo sees it. Yes, so you have my path in echo. This all shows here. So the question is, why didn't echo print just this string, but rather output user bin? Yeah, that's an example of parameter expansions. Yeah, so when we get here, we try to see an example of parameter expansions here. You can see I've stored here home, my recycle bin, all this here. Yes, and you could actually, sure.
So can we go back to the shell?
Shell.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing. So that means that the mine path over there.
Sure.
Then it would mean that the echo doesn't even see the mine path because the shell will expand it before giving it to the echo.
Yes. So the shell by default is programmed to perform expansions on any command line. Yes. So so the key thing is here. The key thing is the shell has special characters which when embedded into command line we invoke it to perform expansions. So when you do echo my path, it will print my path. But there are various characters that causes the shell to perform expansions. You understand? So that's what this slice is trying to explain here. So these are the various expansions we have. We say we have the tilde, arithmetic, breeze, parameter expansion, and command substitutions. Yes. So there are characters when embedded into a command line forces the shell to perform expansions. So it actually looks on the command line to see whether there are some special characters which you will need to expand on before trying to pass the command as an input to echo. Yes, so in this case, because there were no special character as the $sign, echo just outputs my path. But when you are to start a string with a dollar sign, what the shell will do is perform an expansion on this string before echo sees it. So we have here echo my part. Yes, and echo print what was expanded. And instead you have the command substitution. So with the command substitution, it has to do with the shell using the output of a command as an expansion or an input to another command. So let's see how the shell does this. We said command substitution. So we could do echo. So with the command substitution, we need to bring a dollar sign, open a bracket, and run, let's say list. Okay, so let's try to create a test file in our current directory to invoke. So file. So let's try using a brace expansion which contains, let's say, a range of integers. So we could do 1, 2, so we could do 1 to 10. Okay, so we could do 1 to 10. Yes, and just touch this file, and you have in our current directory. Yeah, we have file 1, file 2 here. Yes. So let's try and see how. Let's try and see an example of a command substitution. Yes. So we say the command substitution has to do with the shell using the output of a command as an expansion or an input to another command. So that one too, we could use echo, but we could, replace echo with any command we want. We could replace echo with copy. We could replace echo with, remove, find, any other thing we like to do. So let's try and use echo in the current directory right now. So with the command substitution, what we need to do is place a dollar sign, open a bracket, then